Now on to part 2 of this commentary, Spider's Game from Beast Wars Season 1. And here he is, the fan favourite, the darling of the Beast Wars, Waspinator. In Seasons 2 and 3, basically he became a blithering idiot. I often wondered why the hell the Predacons bothered keeping him around. But if you watch Season 1, he's actually not the massive comic relief he became in later seasons. I mean, he still is comic relief. A huge part of that is probably of the Predacons. Mentally, he's kind of the weirdest. Scott McNeil, the voice actor who does Waspinator, gives him a really kind of comedic voice. I guess those things combine to make him popular. But I don't know. For me, for my money, I kind of like the more badass Predacons. This is Air Razor. This episode kind of really showcases the characters who've been introduced through the season. I mean, you've got Tigertron, you've got Air Razor, you've got Black Arachne, all have prominent roles. And the fourth and final character to be introduced this season, Inferno. Obviously, this is his episode. So it's interesting now that I watch this. This episode's really predicated on these new characters.
But you've got to go. You can reach it faster than I.
Reach what?
A stasis pod. I was following it. Find it before the
Tigertron there is being played by Blue Man Kuma,
Now go.
which is just an awesome name. I mean, can you imagine walking around telling people, "Hey, I'm Blue Man Kuma"?
Begin internal repairs.
I'm almost positive that sound that happens when Tigertron's internal repairs happens is a Windows 95 sound. Which, you know, I'm going to guess that was a little sort of audio humor in there. And this is it, the birth of Inferno, who looks way too big to fit in that little stasis pod, but that's just a cool entrance either way.
How depressing. Are you sure it's a Predacon?
I am Tarantulus, your creator. Identify yourself.
Spiders.
And here we go.
The colony.
Inferno is,
Terrorize.
if you'll pardon the expression, bug-shagging crazy. Exhibit A.
Destruction to all who threaten us.
Inferno here is being played by Jim Burns. I assume that's how his name is pronounced. It's Burns with a Y. A rather surprising thing about Jim Burns is on top of his voice acting career, he's actually probably foremost his primary career actually is that of being a blues musician.
He's a real insect.
Precisely. And he sees
Which is kind of odd. It's hard to imagine Inferno kind of like strumming away a blues guitar, but there you have it. In fact, the voice acting across the board in Beast Wars is pretty amazing, in my opinion. It's kind of that crew of sort of the Vancouver Canadian voice actors, and you kind of see them in a lot of those kind of series. I mean, a lot of them returned again for the sequel series, Beast Wars. But, you know, people like Gary Chalk, who voices Optimus Prime, and David Kay, who now more recently tends to do more work in America now.
An opportunity has arrived.
They really... well, on two levels. One, just the actual quality of the acting, you know, is pretty good. I don't get the sense of these people going, oh, you know, it's just a cartoon, I'll just whack on a stupid voice and sort of phone this in. You really get a sense that these actors went to some lengths to sort out what it was they were going to do in recording sessions, like in terms of emotions and all that sort of thing. Another one is for sort of the character voice actors. They really differentiate, create very distinct character voices. And everyone loves a bit of tilphonage.
Maximums. Yes, they are enemies. But you're not of the colony.
That's Venus
Actually, I'm
Terzo
the
as the
personal
voice
friend
of
of royalty.
Black Arachnia.
Now, why don't we talk?
And here we go. Tarantulas reveals that this is actually his true objective.
The real prize.
I'm a little bit disturbed by the exertion and the sound effect right there of him pulling out a web.
At last I have the means to escape this.
It
dust
strikes me as, well, poo humor, but maybe not.
What's happening?
It's an energon surge. You've been in robot mode too long. Transform!
Logic, circuits cloudy, don't understand.
You're a Predacon.
There's a bit of an irony here of sort of
Our
Black
destiny to
Arachnia
conquer and rule.
explaining the Predacon
Only
ethos
the royalty will.
as she
As
was a
soldier, I
Maximal
defend
previously.
The colony!
And it's interesting, yeah, Inferno instinctually
It was the pod
goes
he
into
was
beast
after
mode.
all along.
Previously, just a few seconds ago, he talked about not really knowing how to do it because he's an absolute loon. He doesn't realize he's not a real ant.
What happened?
So, yeah, it's an interesting thing. Again, I don't get why the explanation that his beast mode is dominating his logic circuits doesn't really get
They must have taken us.
explained.
I'll track them. Maybe I can retrieve it. Find Optimus. He must know of this.
You might need backup.
I hunt
In this
better
particular, in an otherwise really kind of well thought out story, the idea that Tigatron has to track down the pod is never really... He just vaguely makes mention that there might be Maximal secrets in the pod. But of all the places to keep Maximal secrets, why would you do it there?
Blast! Where is Tarantulus?
Okay, that's it for part 2, and I'll see you again very shortly for part 3.
Report. Tarantulus is coming, and some...